Very neat all. It's autumn's Lugh, and I still have quite a few oranges. Oh gosh, my hips. Left over from midsummer's letha. Partly because I just simply haven't got around to doing everything I wanted to do with them. But anyway, I'm going to share one of my favorite yummy things, and it's also a really good way to get vitamin C in opposed to, you know, taking a supplement as such or ascorbic acid. And that is simply, I don't throw away any part of the orange. If I eat the flesh, I keep the peels and I cut them up into juliennes and rinds. And basically I boil them out so they become clear. So I boil them for about 15 minutes, throw out the water, or I soak them all day, then throw out the water. And then I'll boil them a second time with just enough water to cover, so the water pretty much the point of the second boil is so the rind becomes a little bit clear, so it's not opaque, the pith. And then when it's done, I tip out the water, but keep obviously the rind in the actual saucepan. And then so for this one here, I had 4 oranges cut into julienne, and for that I put 2 cups of sugar. And basically I let the sugar dissolves. You stir it a couple of times and low heat for about half an hour, or until the sugar starts to crackle or stick. So you don't want to have too much watery sugar, if you like, melted down sugar. By the end of the process, you want it to, first thing in the morning here guys, so I'm a little bit, you want the process to pretty much, I've forgotten the word, you know, when there's not much condensation, you know, there's not much water in the pan afterwards. But anyway, you don't want a lot of syrupy sugar floating about. You basically want to, there is a word for it and I just can't think of it right now, sorry. In cooking, you just basically want to have as much of the sugar that's melted down into a syrup to dissipate as much as possible. When it starts crackling is usually when I know, and then I turn the heat off, lay out the rinds on a greased tray, and then I sprinkle a little bit of sugar on top, so you just have that lolly effect. And you don't have to do that. And I mean, you could even use half the amount of sugar in the boiling down. But this is more of a lolly, if you like. a vitamin C gummy done without horse hoof or any of that nonsense. And what I'm up to, sprinkle that, let it cool down. As it cools down, it hardens. Okay. I want to get a jar today for my gummy rinds, and because remember too, the pith can actually, well, the peel and pith can actually be used as a gelatin replacement, because oh my gosh, what is wrong with me today? There's another word. First thing in the morning, man. I'm not going to do a recording first thing in the morning unless you want to hear me talk like a drongo. Pectin! Hey! So there's pectin, especially in the citrus. So that actually helps to do what gelatin would do when you're making preserves. So bear that in mind. So that's why it's gummy. So yeah, I want to get a nice jar today for this, and or I do have a really cool jar which needs to be replaced with something else, and I might actually use that. It's an old Apoth jar, so I think I'll do that. But anyway, so you can just eat them as they are. They're really yummy. If you're a fan of sour stuff or marmalade and oranges, you'll love this. I just love sprinkling some on top of my oatmeal in the morning. Or even making a toasted muesli with these. If I do these as a toasted muesli, I put a lot less sugar, so I make a more of a, I pretty much use the sugar just to preserve and not to sweeten and preserve like I do with the lollies. So I'll probably just use a cup a cup of sugar opposed to the 2 cups to 4 cups of oranges in the saucepan. But anyway, I have my oatmeal waiting. I need to wake up mentally. I'm still sleepy guys. But the other thing I like to do with peels while I'm here, I'll do a follow-up post once I've done my next garland, is I like to always have some in storage. This is not enough in storage for me. I like this in a massive bag as backup, because as you know, citrus, they're not meant to be accessible all year round, just like apples. So I like to have a lot to pull me through winter, and there's something about having oranges or orange products that have been preserved and stored at midwinter, just it's like it helps bring the sun along into a cold season. So this here is my orange peel, which I have ground into a powder. I love using this in bakes. I mean, I use this in crafting purposes, but I also use this in bakes. One of my favourite bakes, I might do a vlog on it at some point, is making a sweet loaf, but not really sweetened. It's just fruity. You know, it's just got dried fruit in it. And what I like to do is use the powdered orange peel in that. And again, so this powdered orange peel is vitamin C. So instead of buying ascorbic acid, this is one of the ways I like to go about it, unless I'm doing a clean out, and then I'll supplement a whole heap of vitamin C, you know, beyond the normal amounts I usually have. And these babies, aren't they just gorgeous? Don't they just look like stained glass windows? Which is the whole point. So these oranges here, they were looking a bit past their pass by date, a little bit poorly. So I decided to slice them all up and make a berry nut garland. The other garland I like to do and I make is with just peels. And I've done a recording on this before, I use a cotton twine these days, or a cotton yarn, because next year when midsummer comes around, or when summer or midsummer comes around, you know, you just see a fluff or something, just removing it. When summer or midsummer comes around, I actually put these in the bonfire and I make a new one. So sort of the whole year is past. And then I have my, I haven't changed things over for Lugh yet, so I've still got my midsummer stuff up. Better get my skates on. I've got my plate. I'll do a separate recording on that. I like to have a candle plate for each of the season, and I usually go through the house with that plate and pretty much bless every room and go into the gardens to set the intention for the coming seasons. For the coming seasons. For the coming season. Oh, morning, man. Oh. And I also love, while I'm here, I love also having the blossom. So this one is a lemon blossom. I also like to have the leaf, and I ground it into a powder. I pretty much have the leaf of every plant I use in my craft work as a full leaf and ground powder. Culinary or not. Anyway, that's it from me. My breakfast is calling me, and I gotta get my brain functioning for the day. Blessed be, Mary Part.